It is Tuesday, puck time, guys, and $5 customer appreciation day over at WagerTalk. Three big games. Andy Lang is here just in case I have some audio issues. We're going to talk Tampa Bay and Boston. If you remember how that last game finished last weekend, some fights at the end of the game. This one should be a good one. Florida and the Devils. Florida off a loss to Philadelphia last night. Andrew's prop playlist, New York Rangers and Colorado have the Rangers turn the corner, and then some best bets, and hopefully send you guys off with some winners. But let's get right to it. Andy, Tampa Bay -130, Boston Bruins +110. Total sits here at 5.5. 6 straight losses for the Bruins after Tampa dealt them that 4-1 defeat. Fights right at the end of the game. Bruins had pretty much their fourth line and some tough guys on the ice, maybe trying to send a message. Bruins did get a win over Florida in next start, but they're in Boston now. What are your thoughts on this one?
You ever lose a bet on a team and it's in really unbelievable fashion, so you just don't like them for like the next week? That's how I am with the Bruins. I had Lindholm to not have a point against Florida, and it was going into overtime, or it wasn't in overtime, and he didn't have a point, and they scored a goal with like 2 seconds left, and then he had an assist on the last goal of the game with 1 second left. That's how I lost that one. So I sports hate the Bruins right now. So it's just going to be a week that I'm not going to bet on the Bruins. But no, I really wasn't impressed with their win, to be honest. I mean, they were lucky to get out of there. I mean, they were down. Let's face it, they were down with 2 seconds left in that game. So only prop I really like this one, and this has been a good one all season, is Anthony Cirelli, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's gone over in 15 out of the last 20 games. He went over the last game against Boston. It's just one that you just kind of play every single time he's out there. It's like -180 sometimes, and then the next game it'll be -150 depending on the defense that he plays. But I can't overlook 15 out of 20 games that this hits. This is just one of those you just keep playing it over and over and over, and you'll eventually be up ahead. I mean, that's how it's kind of gone with this guy. The rest of the props in this game I think are priced pretty accurately, so I can't really find any value. Only thing I'll be in play tonight is Cirelli over 1.5 shots on goal.
You normally don't need a reason to hate the Boston Bruins. Most people north of the border, listen, it's one of those things. When a team is good, other fans of other teams will always hate him. It's kind of like Marchand. You hate the guy unless he's on your team, then you absolutely love him. I like him as a player. Andrew, I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this one. Andy mentioned Cirelli, and I actually watched Cirelli's post-game video earlier this morning, and he talked about coming back from the West Coast, picking up 4 points, 4 big points at home, and they're stressing in the locker room that they need to pick up points. So heading to Boston against a team that's clearly struggling right now, it's a venue switch, and they beat them 4-1, scoring a shorthanded goal, I think, in that one as well, too, which could have been a turning point had the Bruins scored and gained a little bit of momentum. But Vasilevsky and Swayman, I give the advantage if those are the 2 starting goalies to Tampa, and they're just playing better right now. So Tampa for me. What are your thoughts?
Well, it wouldn't be a Tuesday without starting the show off on opposite ends. Of course, I feel like it's always the big cards that we're head-to-head. It's what it always feels like. It's the big ones where we go, look, for me, this is not my favorite play on the board by any means, but I completely get what Andy said about how the Bruins definitely weren't impressive in their victory on the weekend over the Florida Panthers, because they weren't. I mean, it was a fun game if you're a fan of the game of hockey and you want to watch chaos, but it wasn't a smooth victory. But I think just getting the victory was enough for them to build some confidence to work off that. Beating the Florida Panthers at any time is a good achievement. And then, that whole story that came out. I mean, this absolute bozo of a radio guy making up stories about Pastrnak and Marchand not getting along. They don't want to play together, Pastrnak. And then Marchand pretty much said, I don't know how this guy still has a job. Like, he addressed the media, said he didn't want to talk about it, but he feels like he has to. it feels like they got motivated off that. Pasternak scores a few goals. Marchand's out there for quite a bit of the goals as well. And Tampa Bay, a smooth sailing win over the Pittsburgh Penguins on Sunday. They just get that win on Sunday. Yeah, they go down 1-0 in the first period. They kind of didn't really take Pittsburgh seriously. Then after that first period, they woke up, played Tampa Bay hockey. I think this is a game where the Boston Bruins are going to start rolling a bit right now. Swayman's getting his act together a little bit, even though that defense has still been pretty weak. And the Boston Bruins get the job done. No money, no team totals, under or overs, just money line for me. And one thing kind of interesting right now, guys, I was checking before the show. The Boston Bruins currently, as it sits, have lower odds. They're minus 115 to make the playoffs. The Ottawa Senators are minus 140. Detroit, they're like 4 or 5 to 1. Columbus, 4 or 5 to 1. Montreal, 4 or 5 to 1. Pittsburgh, 4 or 5 to 1. So according to the odds makers, they already know who's making the playoffs, even though this Eastern Conference wildcard race is so tight. So it's very interesting. If you want to take any shots on certain teams to make or miss the playoffs, could be a really good time of the season to do that. But I thought I'd mention that, Carm. It's kind of interesting here. This Boston Bruins team, they were minus 215 before the season started to make the playoffs. Now we're only seeing them minus 115.
115 might be overpriced there. I still don't believe the Bruins are going to make the playoffs. I took them under their point total, and which was set at 99.5, which is you would think is low, considering this team had 130 plus points 2 years ago, 109 points last year. But it's that a little bit of that regression and some of the other teams playing well. Ottawa, because you mentioned Ottawa needs to get Linus Ullmark back in goal. They're a completely different team with him in goal. He's been on such a great run, but we'll see. And then you got to love it. Detroit Red Wings. The Wings are winning, and I'm pretty happy about them. I had them as a 5% Friday night, and they got the job done in regulation. Another 5 going tonight as part of $5 customer appreciation. So you can get that 5% play, which is normally $35 for only $5. Andrew, I saw that clip from Marchand as well too. Listen, I might be biased, but everyone loves pasta. How can you not love pasta unless you are on some kind of stupid keto diet? With that said, I'm going to go right back to you. Florida and New Jersey, the Devils minus 150. Looks like it's going to be Markstrom in goal. Florida plus 120. Knight is confirmed. Bobrovsky started last night. Florida last night, they were messy last night. They blow a 2-0 lead, blow a 3-2 lead, end up losing the game to the Flyers on a 2-0 with about 4.5 minutes left. Rare mistake by Florida, but they were made to pay for it. What are your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts are, Carm, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually sort of on one of those stupid diets you just mentioned right now. So it's kind of, right now, I can't even eat pasta. I haven't had pasta in a couple weeks. So, we'll see. I like the player, but right now I'm trying to stay away from, I'm just, it's too good, man. It's too good. I can't have enough of it. But as far as the game is concerned here, I do like the Devils in this spot here. I mean, look, I'm not saying that I think this Panthers team is going downhill, but what I am saying is I feel like they've been very, very inconsistent defensively lately. And some of the metrics that I've looked at, their expected goal numbers, forcing Bobrovsky to save them in a lot of games. And this is where you can use metrics, but you can also use the eye test. And when I'm watching some of these Florida games, it feels like they're almost taking Bobrovsky for granted at some of these points now. But with this being said, I want to take the early win here for the New Jersey Devils. So it's a bit chalky, but I'm going to take the Devils in the first period on the money line to get off to a really good start at home, which Carm, they haven't been great as far as profit earners at home units-wise over the last 2 seasons. But this to me is a really good bet on spot for them. Not really liking what I'm seeing from Florida lately. That game against the Boston Bruins, we talked about it. It wasn't really impressive for either team, but all I know is that neither team could hold a lead. And so with that being said, I trust this Devils team a little bit more here I'll take the Devils, but especially take them early on in the first period.
All right. Like it, Andrew, before I go to Andy, I mentioned, the fact that Florida, they played a sloppy game. I watched that one last night while I was watching the football game. And normally a team like Florida, and I get it, and you're correct, they are taking Bobrovsky for granted there. But when they play as bad as they did, I think they played bad defensively. No disrespect to Philadelphia, who fought back and won that game, but I always think the defensive effort, their next game is going to be that much better. It's one of the reasons why I'm leaning to the under 6 here. Markstrom's been very good. In New Jersey, we saw on that road trip where they struggled to create not only goals, but even like XG. At some point, that's going to come back. It's just this total sits here at 6. Knight's last 4 starts have all gone under the total. So while he is the backup goalie, they aren't 4-3, 5-2 type of games. They've been 3-0, 4-1, 3-1 type of games. So I'm going to lean to the under 6 in here and hope that this is one of those boring, defensive, underperforming games by both teams. And with that said, I'm going to send it over to Andy for his thoughts.
Yeah, just one prop in this one. We'll just keep rolling with Gustav Forsling over 1.5 shots on goal. It's minus 180. It's hit 19 out of the last 20 games. That's when minus 180 is a steal. I don't know why the books keep leaving it at 1.5. Because a lot of these games is going with 4 or 3. But I'll just keep writing with Forsling. It's crazy. And I know that the Devils they're great on defense. They're third in the league in not allowing shots on goal. He's kind of matchup proof. He's gone over 6 straight games that he's played the Devils. So it's minus 180. A lot of people don't want to lay it. I'll be happy to lay it on Gustav Forsling. My best bet is in this game, but man, this prop is jumping off the page to me.
19 of 20, even at that price, Andy, it's one where you take it. It's like it's a steal. It's like they say you only pay big when you lose. Isn't that the the quote that a lot of people use?
Yeah, lay minus 180 when it hits 19 out of 20. You're going to be ecstatic. Your bankroll is going to be through the roof. So absolutely.
It certainly will. Andrew, before we go to your prop section, I want to thank you and Buster for a good show yesterday. I was away at a doctor thing, so it's good news. I don't have to see them for another 6 months. They say everything is cool. Obviously, love that. And then I got to show up on today's show, and I'm stuck with 2 guys having fantastic hair days. Guys, I used to have hair. And I told you last week I would pop a picture on the screen. Here it is, a picture of me with hair. Yes, that is me. That is Jerry Springer. This was from a show where I was the featured guest. It was called People Who Play Ladder Challenges and Can't Get by Leg 1 of the ladder challenge. So it was... It was a traumatic show, and we continue with those ladder challenges, and we continue to not get by the first leg. It feels like a Seinfeld episode. If everything you do is wrong, then the opposite must be right. With that said, Andrew, I'm going to you for your prop playlist. Give us some winners.
I love it, Carm. I love it. I hope you weren't the father, by the way, but we'll never know. I'm sure that was quite the show for you overall to look at. 3 props for me. We'll keep it short and simple here. Jesper Bratt, we're going to go him over assists, over half assists, record an assist, minus 130. Money's come in on this one. The first number I saw was minus 105 to minus 110 here. This is a really good spot, I think, in a very competitive game here between the Panthers and the Devils, and I think that he's going to have a really good game at home. He's been playing very well. His line's playing well, and it seems like he's had a lot of more success overall with his prop when he has been at home. The next one is David Pastrnak to score a goal for the Boston Bruins at home versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Talk about that whole media stir, that got caused last time out. with the Boston Bruins. Some radio guy started a rumor that Pasternak didn't want to play with Marchand. Well, he goes out there and scores a couple of goals in the most recent game against the Panthers. And we're still getting a pretty good price on Pasternak to score because they have not been winning games consistently. We're getting plus 150. Last week I threw in 2 goal scorers at plus 150, plus 160. All you got to do is hit one of them to come out on top. I like that one quite a bit. Robert Thomas will record an assist tonight from the St. Louis Blues against the Calgary Flames. Second half of a back-to-back for the Flames. It's a really good spot, bet-on spot here for the St. Louis Blues. And Robert Thomas, he's not much of a goal scorer. Like, he is a guy, when he gets points, he gets assists. There's no point in taking this guy to get a point. You might as well get that plus money, the plus 115, and take him to get an assist. So I like that one quite a bit. I also like the Blues to get the job done quite a bit as well tonight. But 3 props, 2 assist props, and 1 goal prop. Let's try and go at least 2 for 3 and have ourselves a good night. Back to you, Carm.
Oh, man, screw that. Let's go 3 for 3, man. Let's not go 2 for 3. You set yourself up for failure. We're going to go 3-0 with those props for Andrew. I'm going to parlay the 3 of them if they'll allow me to do so. Guys, it's Tuesday, of course, so it's a $5 customer appreciation day over at WagerTalk, where cappers have a play up for $5. These are plays that normally sell for $25 or $35. Part of the promo with those is you can get a 3-day all access for $69, and a 4th day will be added to it. So a 33% deal on that one. And of course, right after that, Wednesday comes along and we've got the fill your cart special, where on any package that hasn't been discounted already, you can get 25% off everything from a daily package to a 1-day all access up to a 365-day all access. So great deals over at WagerTalk, and you can buy as many as you want. All right, Andy, I'm going to you for this one. Colorado and the New York Rangers. I'm going to make mine quick on this one. It is always tough to go against Colorado, especially at home. They're 2-2-1 their last 5 games. But the Rangers, guys, in the chat, let me know, have they turned the corner? Are they finally starting to win games like we expect the Rangers to do? 3-0-1 their last 4 games. And a couple signature wins there. They did beat New Jersey. They did beat Vegas, 2 very good teams there. They kicked off this win streak with a win over Chicago, and then lost a tough one when they blew a lead against Dallas to lose in OT. But picking up a valuable 7 out of 8 points, something this team needed. I think they're a live dog tonight. I'm taking them at plus 140. It is always tough to get in front of the Avalanche. Keep them out of the box, play them 5-on-5, and I think the Rangers can get another win here. Andy, what are your thoughts?
I think we need some more controversy, kind of like, Pasta on them. Like, I think we need to have some rumors, like, Andy's uncomfortable doing shows with Carmine. We just need to start some like social media drama. Like, it would really help the ratings and the view. Like, I gotta tune in.
And Carmine, we have to arrange a fight between them at like Rough and Rowdy or something, because Carmine wants to kill Buster.
Andy, I didn't even tell you about the time when Andrew came down with his dad and they stopped by my house. He came into the backyard there. He's like, "Oh, I love your backyard. It's nice and big." And then he kicked the squirrel. This thing like at least 15 yards. He kicked the squirrel.
See, this is great. I love
creatures
dirty
of
rumors.
Earth.
Yeah, dirty rumors about this. This is great. This is perfect. This is exactly what it takes to build an audience here.
Did not keep the squirrel, but okay.
Must have had a bad betting night. Must have been some bad UFC losers. Must have had a bad night on Saturday.
I'm gonna go with Ross Colton over 1.5 shots on goal. I keep riding these guys on these streaks over in 7 out of the last 8. So he went over in 12 straight games to start the year, but then he went under in 5 out of 7. But it sure seems like he's back on track in this category. So yeah, just Ross Colton over 1.5 shots on goal. This is another guy that I'm pretty surprised the books keep leaving this prop at 1.5. he lands on 2 quite a bit of the time. So I guess if he jumps up to 2.5, you start riding the under. But as long as they leave it at 1.5 shots on goal, I'll keep taking the over on this one.
All right,
Low-hanging
Andrew,
fruit.
I'm going to give you the final word.
I just love those 1.5s. Andy, we've talked about this before on the show. Like, it's like, let's forget about those 2.5s. And I was on Sports Grid over the weekend, and one of the hosts, Scott Wetzel, he used to be a props guy with shots on goal, under and overs, but he retired for betting the over 2.5s as well, pretty much. He's done with the 2.5s. He's like, they land on 2, and the guy's at 3.5. It's way too expensive. Then all the good players, the number's too hard to get, some of these prices overall here. Look, you got to love this matchup here between the Rangers and the Avalanche. Even though they aren't in the same conference, it always feels like there's some type of bad blood between them for some reason here. Ever since Mackenzie Blackwood took over, Carm, and I said this, I was pretty strong with my opinion that Blackwood would be a huge part of this team moving forward. They signed him to an extension like almost a few weeks after they traded for him. He has been incredibly good, but so is the backup as well. When you get Shesterkin and Blackwood together, most of the time I have been taking, these days, one team under their team total. We gave out LA under their team total yesterday. That was a winner, but this is the game overall. I'm looking at the full game under. Carm, I have a feeling that you have a play in this game that might surprise some of the viewers here. But I think in part of your play, you're probably hoping for some defense. But I like the under in this game, hoping the Rangers and the Avalanche will play a good defensive brand of hockey today.
Right, and Andrew, you always hope for an under. I think obviously works better for me. I would think if the Rangers and it's Shesterkin in goal. You look at Colorado and over their last, I think, 4 or 5 games, with the exception of that one game in which they beat Minnesota, I think it was 6-1. A lot of the games, 4 of those games that they actually 3 of those games, they scored 2 or fewer goals. And one of the games they scored 3 goals. So you don't want to give the Avs power plays. So if the Rangers play an undisciplined game today on the ice, they're going to be made to pay for it because anytime you got McKinnon and Rantanen, and Makar on the ice on a power play, they're going to find a way to score goals. So a 5-on-5, I like the Rangers' chances here. Hopefully they can get it done. Plus 140. If this was the Rangers team that started the season, and they started their season 14-4. If this was the Rangers 14-4 team coming in to play Colorado tonight, what would the odds be? I would think they would be a little bit lower than the plus 140. And they have won the last 3 in this series. I think they've been lower scoring games. I think all 3 went to overtime, and they've won their last 2 visits to Colorado as well too. So it's not as if they go into Colorado and they're a team that is worried about playing there or are intimidated by playing there. They got veterans on the team. Whether they've turned the corner or not, we're going to have to see. But I like the fact that they beat a good Devils team, and they beat a very good a very good Vegas team that had been playing some lights out hockey as of late, the past few weeks or so. So we'll see. Plus 140 is attractive enough. I've got it up as a free play, and we'll probably have it as a client play. With that said, Andy, I'm going to go over to you to let us know what you have up on $5 Customer Appreciation Day and give us a show best bet.
With an NFL prop, running really good in the NFL.
You're muted.
And
no, he's good.
I was not muted, for the record. Not on my end. Let's. I'm doing an NFL prop for a $5 Tuesday. 3-0 run in NFL, 12-6 to close out the year. So running really nice in that one. And there's a couple props that really jump off the board. Normally, the props get tougher as the playoffs move on, but been really, really happy with some of the lines and the numbers that we've been getting from the books last couple weeks. So grab that WT.buzz/AL. Number 1 in units, all sports the last 2 years. Been on top of that leaderboard for quite some time. So really proud of that work. So go grab that NFL best bet. Show best bet. rinse and repeat, Sam Bennett to not have a point. He has one game with a point in the last 11, and it's crazy because he's getting like 8 and 9 shots attempts, but he's only getting like 2 shots on goal. Like he's just firing the puck a mile wide. He's not involved in any of the scoring. It's a really tough matchup tonight, going up against the third best defense in terms of goals allowed. So we'll just keep betting Sam Bennett to not have a point. Like I said, one game with a point in the last 11. Someone did a really nice job. In the last show I was on, Landon talked about how he doesn't look healthy, and I would agree with that. Eye test, he's just not quite up to speed with everyone else. So we'll keep riding Sam Bennett to not have a point tonight.
All right, I like it because that's in the game in which I like the under tonight, Andy. So 1-0 in overtime that goes to a shootout. Nobody gets any points. There you go. With that said, it's going to finish 7-6 and 3-3 after one or whatever. But Andrew, I'll give off mine and then I'll let you go last and then close out the show. I'm going back to the Rangers game. I like this Rangers play plus 140. I'm not going to use the love it because you know that is like the kiss of death. So I'm not going to use that phrase. But plus 140 on the Rangers. Let's see if they've turned the corner or not. This is a good indication against a very good Colorado team, especially one at home. We'll see what the Rangers do tonight. I'm going to take the plus 140 here. A 5% play up in the NHL tonight. You can get it for only $5 over at WagerTalk. A 5-pack of soccer plays today, kicking off with a game at 12:30. If you miss that early 12:31, there's the 4-pack will be up with some Premier League games going at 2:30. 13 and 5 on with customer appreciation plays. Let's see if we can hit a 14th winner with these plays on Tuesday. That's it for me. I'll send it over to Andrew for what he's got up at Wager Talk, his show best bet, and he'll take us home.
That 5% play, man, keep on rolling. And Andy is crushing it across multiple sports. But guys, don't forget about his NHL. You know, you guys see him on Bet On It. Big show, Andy. I know NFL Bet On It, but don't forget about him in the NHL as well. Getting the job done there with the player props. But for me, guys, it was a good weekend in the NFL with player props, and that was all I released. No sides or totals. 5-0 this weekend with the NFL. So we're going to have a $5 customer appreciation player prop. You know, a lot of you guys don't want to buy a player prop for $25 or $35. Well, today's the day to get a player prop for just $5. And yesterday, my player prop was Puka Nacua over a half rushing yard. So I'm just waiting all game for my only client play of the day for 1 rushing yard. And he did end up getting 1 rushing attempt for 7. So that was good to see. Best bet for PuckTime, though, is going to be in the Toronto and Dallas game. I'm going to rock with Dallas team total under 2.5. Back-to-back bad losses, losing to Carolina and then getting shut out against the Vancouver Canucks. Craig Berube and the Maple Leafs will not be happy. They're playing on home ice where they've been very strong. They will bounce back, but when they bounce back, it will be defensively. Under 2.5 Dallas Stars plus 125, my play of the day here. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate every single one of you. Hope you all have a very profitable night in this big card in the NHL. As Andy Lang would say, manage your bankroll, protect your bankroll, and bet responsibly. We'll see you tomorrow right here on PuckTime.